We are going to go over chapter 3. This is just going to be a review, much what the quiz is going to be like. So here we have a transversal, number 1. And the easiest way to do this is if I know one of these numbers, like I know 123 down here, I can make 2 slashes that are parallel. And what that tells me is that all these numbers are going to be equal to 123, anywhere there's a slash. So since that doesn't cover the question mark, that means it has to be the other number, which makes some supplementary angles. They add up to 180 because they form a straight line. So to figure out what that is, all I have to do is take 180 minus 123. Or to set it up in an equation, I know that if I have 123 plus my question mark is going to equal 180. So to solve that, I just get the question mark by itself and subtract 123 from both sides. And that will give me 57. So that means that all the other angles that aren't 123 are all going to be 57. So our question mark equals 57. Same thing over here. These are vertical angles, so these are all going to be the same. I make my 2 slashes. I can see that the question mark is with one of the green slashes, so that's just going to tell me that it equals 76. Same concept for number 3. I'm going to do my slashes. I know this is 80, so I'm going to ignore this for now, this 39x plus 2. I know that's 80, so I'll make my 2 slashes like so. That tells me that this angle right here is going to be equal to 80. So I'm just going to make an equation out of that. I'll put 39 x plus 2 equals 80, and then I'll just solve it. So to solve it, I'll just subtract 2 from both sides, and then that'll leave me with 39x equals 78. I'll divide by 39 to get x alone, and that will leave me with 2. So x equals 2. On number 3, they're not looking for what that angle is. They're just asking you to find out what x is. On these ones, they're both triangles, and triangles add up to 180. So if I add up all 3 angles, this one plus this one plus this one, they're going to add up to 180. So I take 33 plus 70 plus question mark equals 180. And then I just combine what I can. So I'll combine 33 and 70 to get 103. And to figure out what the missing angle is, I'm just going to subtract 103 from 180. And that will be 77. So number 5, we're not going to go over because it's the same thing. The only difference is our equation will have a 5x in it. So at the very end, it'll be set up the same way. You're going to divide by 5. But our equation would look like this: 5x plus 80 plus 60, which is 140, equals 180. So I would subtract 140 on both sides, leaving with 40. And then I'd have 5x equals 40, and I just divide by 5. And that would give me 8. So this is really important. You're going to need to know this is the formula. If I want to find out how much all these interior angles add up to, there's a formula that says if we take the number of sides, so n minus, and we subtract 2, and we multiply by 180, we can find out what all those angles add up to. So all we have to do for these is count up the sides. Well, there's 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I will take 6 minus 2 in parentheses, especially if you're using a calculator. It's important you put that in parentheses, or else it will multiply 180 times 2 first, and it will mess with your answer. So we'll take 6 minus 2 is 4 times 180. And that's going to give me 720. So that means if I add up all these angles, they're going to add up to 720. This would be the same thing, but instead of putting a 6 in, we'll put 8 since there's 8 sides on there. So this one says find one interior angle. So we know, because we just did that problem right here on number 6, that if we did the same formula, if we added up all those angles, they're going to add up to 720. So I'm going to put 720 because that's what it's going to equal. And I'll add up all these angles. So again, there's going to be 6 of them. You can write them as 6x equals 6, or basically you're just going to divide by the number of sides there are. So since there are 6 sides, I'm just going to take 720 divided by 6. And you will get 120. So what that means is each one of these angles is 120 all the way around. This one, same process or same idea, but they're not the same side. So this is called an irregular polygon, and they're all not equal sides. So I have to figure out how many sides there are. In this case, there are still 6 of them. So we said 6 sides, it's going to add up to 720. So to figure out what my missing x is, I just have to add up all my sides. So I made the numbers really easy. I'm going to add up all these angles in here plus my x. So x plus my 90 and my 110 would be 200. Another 200 would be 400, 500, 600. So x plus my 600 is going to equal 720. So then I just want to get x alone. I'll minus 600 from both sides. And what's left is 120. So that means that x equals 120. This part's really important too. So our exterior angles, these are the angles on the outside here, like this x, and there'd be an x over here, and here, and here. If we add up all these different angles, exterior angles, they're going to add up to 360 every time. So it doesn't matter if it's how many sides it has. So they're going to add up to 360. So here I just count all the different angles I have or the number of sides. And since this is 8-sided, I would put 8 x's because I'll have 8 x's here. Each one of these would be an x. Or I just divide by the number of sides, which is 8. I do that and I would get 45. So that's, again, for a regular polygon where all sides are the same. This one, they aren't all the same. I still have to figure out x. Even though there's only 4 sides here, they're still going to add up to 360. So I'll put equals 360 right away. And then I'll just add everything up. So 100 plus 100 is 200, and another 60 is 260. Plus x equals 360. So then I want to get x alone, I'll just minus 260, and x is going to equal 100. And then last thing, just so we're aware, if I had this square and I want to figure out what this angle is or this angle, I can see that these two make a straight line together, these two angles. So that means if they make a straight line, they are supplementary and they add up to 180. So I just have to figure out 90 plus X is going to equal 180. So I'll just take 90 and subtract it from 180. And that would be 90. So that means that the X on the outside is going to be 90. So same thing here. These two added up together are going to equal 180. So this spot right here has to be 90 as well. And that's our review for this chapter.